Hi and welcome to the 3 Cups Full blog. I'm Sharanya and I'm a life coach. And at the 3 Cups Full blog, we talk about how to live full of love, acceptance and respect, which are the 3 cups. And when you're full on the inside, the outside world reflects it back to you. We also talk about our inner voice and following the step-by-step guidance of our inner voice that will then unfold the path before us, the path of our soul. So this week, I wanted to talk about manifesting. And in particular, what I believe is the most difficult step in manifesting things, in the whole manifestation process. Currently, we are trying to manifest our house, a dream house. We want to buy a house. We've been renting for 5 years and now we feel it's time to buy a house. So when it comes to houses, we've always been very fortunate to attract exactly what we want. 5 years ago when we moved to Melbourne, after we got married, we were living in another state. And we came in and we stayed with some family friends, and they said we could stay with them for 2 weeks. So after the first couple of days, we were already searching for rental properties. Now the advice at the time that we were getting, or the guidance at the time we were getting, was it'll take 3 months to find anything good. When you get to a place that you like and you want to put in your application, then offer more money per week, maybe like $10 a week more for rent, or offer to pay the bond up 3 months, rent 3 months in advance. So we were getting all these tips and tricks from people who felt the rental market was really, really tough. We got really overwhelmed with that because we're trying to get what we want, and we're getting all this messaging that it's going to be really, really tough. So I remember one day my husband and I drove back to my auntie's house, and we were just sitting in the car and we were thinking, gosh, we should start looking for the next place that we can crash at. Like, which other friends do we have in Melbourne? Because we've only got 2 weeks until the time here is up. So let's brainstorm who we can live with for the next 2 weeks, perhaps. So we're really stressed about where we're going to live. And I just kind of had this moment where peace washed over me. And I said to him, instead of trying to figure that out, how about we just manifest the house that we want to rent? And I got out a piece of paper and I said, if you had all the money in the world, if you could have anything you wanted, if anything was possible, what would you want to live in? And we just wrote this massive list, and we were decadent. It was so luxurious. We were saying things that were absurd, really. There were basic things like I wanted a kitchen with heaps of storage and cupboard space, and a big bench top. And we wanted to live in between our work places, so easy to get to work, travel-wise for both of us. We wanted 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a garage port. But the interesting thing that we wanted were the things that were quirky. So I loved where my brother was staying at the time, and he had these lofted ceilings. So I put down lofted ceilings, like that beautiful, spacious kind of chapel curve, angle on the roof. So you've got this beautiful loft feeling. And my husband wanted a spa bath. And at the end of the list, I wrote, and I want to wake up to birds singing outside my bedroom window. It was an insane list, but we just went nuts. Like, we opened up our heads, our minds. We didn't limit. We just said, if we could have anything, what would we want? And the very last thing we said, please, within our budget. So funny enough, there was this one house that was on our list to go and inspect. We had a list of about 10 that we had already gathered before we came to Melbourne, and we had lined up the inspection times. And this was the one place that I was like, oh, it looks a bit small. I don't think I'm going to go. But something inside just said, do your best. Go and see everything on your list. Don't filter out yet. So I went the next day after we wrote this list out, and it was just myself. There was no one else attending because it was a random day to inspect a house. I think it was like Wednesday morning or something like that. And I walked in, and it had lofted ceilings, and it had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. I was walking around the house. It was so much bigger than the photos showed. So that was my concern. I thought it was too small for us, but it was actually bigger. And I think the lofted ceilings really helped. And I go into the bathroom and it's a spa bath. So I'm like, this is ticking all our boxes. All right, I'm really happy with this. So instantly I just kind of said, look, I'm really happy. I'm going to hand in the application forms. We had pre-written them out. We were ready to go. And the lady was so lovely. I remember as I was just wrapping up with her and just about to go, I said, look, it says that I've got employment, like I've got a job, but I just had the interview 2 days ago and they said I've pretty much got the job, but it's not 100% official yet. So I will let you know when that's official. That was the only thing that I was just a bit concerned about on the application form. And I had just said, I said I just got married a couple of weeks ago. We just arrived in Melbourne just the Sunday gone. It was like literally we'd just been there 4 days, 5 days in the country. And she said, where did you get married? And I said, I got married in South Africa. And it was a huge conversation. So she had done 5 years secondment for her work in South Africa. We just bonded over this South Africa commonality, and it was just flowing, like it was just really cool. And she said, look, when can your husband come and see this place? And I said, he's pretty good. If I like it, that's enough. And she was really insistent that he should come and see it, probably from past experience. She knew that this had to be done. And I said, look, we can come tomorrow morning. So the next day, both of us, my husband and I, walk into the house, and he loved it. And he said, yeah, look, this is great. She said, I've already spoken to the owners and it's yours if you want it. And within a day, 2 days, we had our house and it was everything. The funny thing is, when we moved in, we woke up the next morning and birds were singing outside the window. And then when I went to investigate, there was actually a bird's nest in the tree outside our window, but we got everything we wanted. The funny thing is, we never asked for heating. So we'd never lived in Melbourne before. We didn't realize just how miserably cold it gets in Melbourne when you didn't ask for heating. So it had really poor heating. It had everything on our list, but there was no heating. Like, it wasn't proper heating. So we were really cold that year. So when we were manifesting our next house, the first thing on the list was ducted heating, was proper heating for this house. And just like that, we wrote lists every time we were wanting to manifest a new place to rent, and we would get it. There was this other house, 2 houses later, where it was so originally out of our budget. We just thought, this is like, I went in to have a look at it, and my husband was just happened to be around the corner. We went in together just to have a look at this place because it was nice. And I'd seen about 15 or 20 houses prior, and I was thinking, why is it so hard? Usually I can manifest houses like that. Why is it taking so long? And I went into this house just because the photos look so good, and I thought, okay, there are some nice houses out there. This was way out of our budget. We walked in, we loved it, we got too excited. We said, yes, we want it, we'll put the application in. He said, okay, fine. The next day I called up the real estate agent and I said, look, we have to withdraw our application. We got too excited. He said, why? I said it was out of our budget. And he was a lovely real estate agent, and he said, fair enough, that's fine. The day after, we get a call from him, and he says, look, I've spoken to the owner. They're going to reduce the rent by $20 a week. Is that in your budget? And I was like, it is. It's like the top end of our budget. Fine, we've got it. It was just crazy that the time I needed to look for houses over that month and a half or so, the owners, I'm assuming, were just getting tired of waiting for renters that met their criteria to show up, that they were willing to drop the price by $20 for a young couple that kind of met their criteria. It was mind-blowing. And so we have always had very, very positive experiences when manifesting a house. We haven't had any blocks that we had to work on. We feel we are the word entitled is not quite right. Deservability doesn't even feel right. It just feels like fun. It doesn't feel like there's any hang-ups around worthiness about having a great house. Those things that kind of block you up when you're trying to manifest things is usually, am I allowed to have it? Do I need permission from some other source to have what I want? Will I lose it as soon as I get it? All those kind of blocks that we have inside our subconscious mind that stops us from manifesting exactly what we want. When it came to houses, we didn't have any of those. So now we are in the place of manifesting a house we want to buy, which feels a lot different because now it's a permanent thing. We're not nomads. We can't just kind of get up and move whenever we please. This is about setting down some foundations and some roots. So again, we've got this loose, well, actually, yeah, it's a loose list of what we want in a house. For my husband, it's important that he has a backyard to throw the kids in when we finally have kids. And he wants to be near nature. So this was a new thing after Costa Rica. We really want to be living near nature, like looking over a parkland or surrounded by trees somehow. We don't want to be in an apartment block. We don't want concrete around us. We want trees, we want birds. And then the basic kind of number of rooms, number of bathrooms, number of carports, and loft feeling. It's a loft kind of structure. So now we've found a place that we really like and it's going to auction in a couple of weeks. This is the most difficult part of manifesting. It's the letting go. The letting go. We're really easy, we find it really easy to know what we want based on what we don't want. We can create a list of everything that our heart desires. We then put in the action and, we make a list of all the houses we want to see. We go and do an inspection. We talk to the real estate agents. This is what we want. Is there anything? So there's a lot of action involved, which is needed when manifesting. You need to put your energy into it so that the universe can match it. So it's serious that this is what you want. But the third step I find is the most difficult. And when talking to people, it is the step of letting it go. Letting it go. So what normally happens, when we're trying to manifest something is we fall in love with that guy and universe, make that guy fall in love with me. I want him. Or we fall in love with a house. That is the house that I want. Universe, give me this house. Or that is my dream job. That's the one I want. Break everything away. Pave the way for me to get that job. And that is not the way to manifest. So your mind only knows what it knows and what it's seen before, what it's experienced, what it's downloaded, what it's consumed. It doesn't know the future. It doesn't have the capacity to have access to the unknown. That lies in the layer of your heart and your soul. Your inner voice is the connecting voice that helps you connect to that part of yourself that is in tune with everything that has ever existed and ever can exist. The field of infinite possibilities, infinite opportunities. Your inner voice has access to that space. So letting go of the result means, universe, this is the house I really like. If it's meant for me, let it be. If it's for my highest good, then let it be. So you've kind of shown the universe and you've said to the universe, this is the one I pick out of everything I can see right now. It's the best option for me. Make it happen if it's for my highest good. And so if it doesn't happen, two things. One, there's something inside blocking you from receiving what you want, and that's an internal journey to go on by yourself. Or two, it's not meant for you. There's something equally as good or better fitted for you out there that you have not encountered yet. So that's the surrender. That's the surrender to God, that God knows more than you do. The universe knows more than you do. Put your trust in there. But do your diligent work. Do your work. Do your part. Show up. Go to inspections. Write lists. Make phone calls. Make it happen as much as you can and release the end result. So it's a tough conversation to have with my husband because he's completely fallen in love with this house and the auction is in 2 weeks. And it's so easy to say to the universe, please let this house be ours, because it meets everything on our criteria. It's within our budget completely within our budget. So that gives us this sense of, financial relief in a way. We're not signing up to a 20-year mortgage. But we have to let it go. It might not be the best one for us. It might not be the right one for us. There might be some horrible issues in there that we just don't know, that we can't see, or that might manifest 3 months after we move in, that then we'd be regretting, wanting this house in the first place. So there is this space inside us that needs to leave room for the unknown options out there. And when you can decide for yourself that if it's not this, it will be something just as good or better, it's so much easier to let it go. It's so much easier to let go of that object of your desire. So when you're manifesting, have a set of criteria without the container for it. So you've got the qualities of the guy that you want to attract, or the woman that you want to attract. You've got the qualities, you know how you want to feel when you're with them. It's an experience that you want to have. It is not a picture that you want to attract, or a video that you want to attract of that one. That's the one. Just narrows down all your options to this one person, and you have no idea if that's the right person for you. It's the same thing with a house. You have all the qualities you want in the house. So when we walk in, we want it to feel as though it's a haven, a retreat. It's a place where our soul can just be at ease. We're surrounded by trees and forest and nature, and that helps our soul just replenish and feel nourished and joyful. It's a space that we can raise children in quite happily. It's a space that we can entertain with friends and family. It's a space that we feel free living in. That these are feelings, these are experiences, these are qualities that we want to attract, not the specific address. It's a whole different way of thinking about it. It's go for the qualities and the experience, and then the universe will find the bricks and mortar that'll fit that for us. So letting it go on auction day is our challenge. Okay, this is the greatest house we've found so far, but if it's not for us, then do not let us have it. Do not bring it to us. Give it to someone else who it's better suited for. So I will let you know how we go on auction day. It's in 2 weeks' time. But I just wanted to share with you that is one of the most difficult things to do when manifesting. The letting it go of how it's going to arrive to you, of what exactly is going to turn up for you. That is one of the most challenging parts of manifesting, and that's when people kind of give up and go, oh, this doesn't work because he never fell in love with me and we never got that house and I never got that job, so this manifesting stuff is just crap. But it's not. It's so real. It's so real. We've done it so many times now that we still get surprised every time we manifest something. But we now have trust in the process because we've done it so often that it does still surprise us, but we are so, elated with the process every time it works. And we trust in the process that it will work for us. So when you're manifesting, know what you want and have the qualities and the experiences that you want to experience in your manifestation once it arrives. Do the work of then doing as much as you can with what's in front of you, and you will then be led further and further down. So you can't be guided by the universe with action if you're not already in the flow of action, because once you start moving, it's easier to move the ball than to go from absolutely still and inertia. It takes much more effort. And so when you're not doing anything and trying to manifest something, you will then screen out actions based on what you think is worth doing or not. And that is not the way to manifest. You need to just make a list of everything in front of you that you can get on top of. Start putting action in towards it, and then be open to guidance along the way. So we are now looking at a suburb that we initially did not have on our list. But once we were guided to go there, we are now seeing all these beautiful options of houses that really meet our desire of what we want in a house. And this one in particular is right now the best option that we've found. Letting go of this particular option, this particular house, is now the next step for us. I'm going, okay, if it's meant for us, let it be. If it's not, then give it to someone else. There will be something else out there. So don't put all your hopes and dreams on one thing and have all your desires be wrapped up in this one thing. You don't know how it's going to look when it manifests. So let go of what it's meant to look like for you. That is the sharing I wanted to bring to you today. Good luck with all of your manifestations. It is a beautiful process and journey once you get going on it, and it does bring results. It really does. I will keep you all up to date with what happens with this particular house. So that's all for this week. I will see you all next time on the 3 Cups Full blog. If you like the video, definitely share it with your friends and subscribe to the blog at 3cupsfull.com.au. You will get the videos sent straight to your inbox as soon as I upload them. So have a great week ahead of you, and I will see you all next time. Bye for now.